Alright. Does it look like a new update? Okay. Would help if I press the buttons. So far, we've got some doors and walls running and everything. What you don't see are lights, trees, puddles, enemies, any of that sort. Or rather any collision detection, because I just go right through the walls like that. Haven't quite got there yet, but we do have a couple of things behind the scenes that we've been doing. Particularly in this room here, you can usually see. Let's do a little flippy-roo. Right here, we bring this down, and you can see this little puddle right there. It's one of the examples I've done. Trying to create some static objects. They exist in the code, but I haven't rendered them onto the screen yet. And let's see, switch on over to... We don't want that. We want this. Yeah, that's what we want. Let's kill that. So, one of the things that I've done, zoom this in here, is building up what we call our map definitions down here. We've got this lovely file here, which we probably could add some more to. Little 3D enemies. God forbid that'll just destroy it. So what we have here is just a way for PFWolf to understand where our data is coming from, whether we can have them in one file or several, but I like splitting them apart just to keep them all broken apart. We've got things divided among walls, doors, player itself, decorations, and enemies, even though these are kind of the same thing. But those are the two I'm focusing on currently. If you can see right here, I've only got a couple of things added just to start in the first level: puddle, oil drum, and dead guard. And each one of these here associates to an actor definition, which you'd find up on the top, an actor definition folder. So I've got puddle, and in there we've got states. What's our next song? Sure. I just have the little 3D track in the background because I thought that would be very fitting. So here we've got a spawn method, and in there it gives you that frame. This isn't really related to anything just yet, but it will. But it's to kind of play into how Wolf 3D works, where it pulls the sprite and loads it in. But in PFWolf, we'll actually look right here. Maybe. Where is it? Yeah, here's a good example. Their code is written like this. They have an actor, there's the puddle, they have a number associated to it, and then the states. Here's spawn, there's water, although they use -1, and then they stop. I don't know exactly if that's the way I'm going to approach it yet, since I haven't quite built it out to function, but it would do the same. It's practically the same thing. This syntax here I can't quite mimic without doing some significant work, and I'm kind of just trying to get things out of the door at the moment. But that's the same idea. We go back into PFWolf, we've got our oil drum or green barrel, and then the dead guard. This is the one I wanted to see the most because it's the first thing you see in the first level. So if I go back to decorations, oh gosh, not decorations. We've seen it already. Not much here. Want to keep it nice and simple because I'm saying, hey, find this actor and assign it to item number 23, oil drums number 24. But it's the enemies that I've been trying to build up and understand a little bit better of. For instance, here I've got a list of actors, 108, which in WDC, let's pop that open, is right here, is that east-facing guard. So if I click on, well, I can't really click on it because I'm in read-only mode, but that first one gives you an east-facing guard, and that's what I've got right here. So I have it, the actor. This is the default state that you want to bring it in, spawn, although this line isn't even necessary. You can almost omit it because it will default to looking for spawn. This field there is there in case you want to have it start in a path. No, not path even. In a, I don't know, a different state. Maybe, yeah, maybe for path. Actually, yes. for path. I'm just dumb. I've been just in the middle of mix mashing this stuff up, so it's not all set in stone yet, but it's kind of there. So anyways, we've got what actor we want, how we want to spawn it, what direction, what skills they're available in. In PFWolf, you have a min skill, so it always will just cap off. If you want it to be in 3, it'll just get rid of those, and 4, get rid of those. In this case, you could almost say, well, this guard doesn't exist in the 3rd difficulty. A little bit more flexibility there. And then some flags, which are just names, blocking and shootable for now. Might change. And in PFWolf, you just define 1, and it just defines 4 directions for you. I don't like that, because then you can't just flexibly change them. So, although it is a lot less work, but this is what I've got going currently. When you look in PFWolf, let's see, we've got this here. There's our 108. Called it hollow wall, that's probably whatever they define it. 11 being the guard. If you look in here, you'll see guard, monster 11 right there. So it's really hard to really remember that stuff. And then you've got this here. This is the old number. This is the new number. And ooh, that sounds terrible. Wow, that track is awful. What about this one? Yeah, let's do that one. Whatever tracks I'm looking at, they did a really poor job. And then you're gonna have to hear that. Anyways, PFWolf handles their objects like this, so it's not that much different, but I'm just containering my data a little differently. I don't know where this stuff originally came from, their things list, but it's kind of what I'm doing, in a way. But when it comes to like the actor, the guard, defining all this data here, I don't have all this stuff quite there yet, all the sounds. What I was focusing on were these states. So you see there's the spawn, there's the path, there's the chase or sight, there's the attack, but they call it missile, pain state, and death. So I had something very similar in that regard. If we go back to the guard, I've got the spawn state, although I have 0 ticks. And just a placeholder, what action is being performed. These states don't specifically relate to anything other than something we define. So spawn being the default state, everything should have that that's in here, but we can create a path state. If we want to create some other new state like chase 2, like for instance you want to chase a different way, you can call a different chase method. You can attack, you can have alternate attack instead of just regular attack, or pain state, which is right here. This one I'm gonna have to do a little bit of finagling it because it's a little different, because it kind of picks and chooses which pain state to go in. So instead of this here where it'll do this frame and then the next frame, I don't need to loop 1, 2. I would need to choose this one or that one. So this T pain method is going to figure that out eventually, and then the death frame. So everything, it's so very similar. As opposed to, let's see if we can even get Wolf 3D's old stuff out here. It's going to be fun to try and pick that one off. Can we find it? Yeah, there we go. In here, bring that up here. Perfect. So this is how it is in the code. It's all hard-coded. So there's your directional, there's the sprite name, how many ticks, the action. Well, actually, this is the thinker. This one's the action, and then what comes next. And in this case, it just loops its own self, which is what I would end up doing. It's just looping through a list of 1, which is fine. It doesn't matter that it's only looping through 1. Then we got our path states and pain states, shoot states. It just pulls it out of here. We never really wanted any of this stuff in the code, but that's just how it came to be. What on earth is going on here? Gross. Something was goofy there. At least you guys can see that. But, anyways, back that out. So, definitely different ways to skin a cat in this regard, but that's what we're working on right now. is to get those actors in place. So I only did some of the guard for now until we get it up and running. And eventually we'll start adding more scripts to it and see how we can build those out. And then we can render them out on the screen. That's what I'm hoping to see next month. And once that comes, all the other enemies will just start popping up really quick. They may not be functional, but that's my goal, is just to get them visual and maybe even get the state stuff working, because you can even utilize this for animated objects. You can do this for any type of actor-based thing. And eventually even the static enemies, or statics, will do the same thing, just like the actors here. They just don't need direction or skills. Like if you omit a direction, it's going to have a no direction flag, so it doesn't matter what direction it's facing. Like bosses, for example. And you can even have ammo and things restricted to skill level as well. So I think that's going to be pretty cool. So that's all I really have for this update. Kind of wish I had a little bit more, but I've also been working on another project at the same time, which shouldn't be a long-term project. Nowhere near done with that one either, but I'm excited to show that one off. So this is all I got for now, so I appreciate you guys having a look, and look forward to the next update. Until then, take care.